Hello and welcome to East Brunswick High School Sports and Girls Soccer. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined by Jim Allinder for tonight's East Brunswick Westfield girls soccer match. And Jimmy, what a way to start off the season, particularly for Lou Cosa as coach of the East Brunswick Bears.
Oh boy, you can say that again. This conceivably is the best two teams in New Jersey for girls soccer. Westfield, the defending state Group 4 champions. East Brunswick was the team that they beat last year 2-1 in the finals, and I think most coaches agree that East Brunswick and Westfield are the two best teams. Interestingly, 2 years ago, East Brunswick beat Westfield 3-2 in the state finals, and by the same margin the year before that. So in the last 3 years, the best teams in the state are on that field, and it should be a nice matchup tonight. A couple of things about East Brunswick last year. They finished with a 22-3 record. The top goal scorer, of course, was Leanne Swartz with 54 goals. She has graduated.
Right.
The year before that, Lisa Gagno had 50 goals, and she, of course, graduated 2 years ago. Leanne, by the way, is at the University of Massachusetts, and Lisa Gagno is at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. So, looking at East Brunswick this year, I think there's no doubt that Amy Meckelberg, who as a sophomore scored 32 goals, is now a junior, is going to be the person up front to look for.
Right.
But there's a lot of young people, a lot of new faces in the lineup, and we'll be mentioning them as we go along. I think another one just to mention right now is the goalkeeper, Lauren Korf. Now, Lauren didn't play goaltender last year, and that was out of letting Amy Gorney, a friend and also a senior, play. But Lauren's back, and she's an outstanding keeper, and she's one to watch. And it's just going to be an exciting season this year for East Brunswick girls soccer, as it always is.
Jim, you know, it's funny when we talk about girls soccer, particularly at East Brunswick, we don't even talk about the GMC. We talk about the state finals. This team here, how good do you think it is? How good does Lou Cosa think it is?
Well, I think we're going to get a good gauge as to how good East Brunswick is tonight by going up against the best competition available, and that being Westfield. My speculation is that East Brunswick will again be the best team in Middlesex County. I think they're going to get some severe competition from, interestingly, the Brunswicks. South Brunswick and North Brunswick have quality programs. Madison Central is coming up, and that is a competitor in the red division of the GMC. But I think East Brunswick still is a notch above, and we'll just have to see how things go this year.
Yeah. Well, we're ready for this one. A big opening, home opener, if you will, for the East Brunswick Lady Bears, East Brunswick and Westfield. And we'll start the action in just a moment. All right, Jim, we're about ready to get started here, East Brunswick and Westfield, and I know you have the lineups for both teams.
I do, and as you look on the field, you see the usual ritual, if you will. I guess the officials look at the spikes and make sure that everything is in the way it should be. But as far as East Brunswick's starting lineup is concerned, we mentioned Lauren Korf will be in goal tonight. She is a senior. The fullbacks are going to be Sarah Bishop, number 5, and Ann Yang. They're both seniors. She's number 44. Chris Farrell will be the sweeper. She's a senior, wearing number 6. Amy Manuel, number 32, is going to be the stopper, and she's just a sophomore. At left halfback, Lainey Mitzner, number 30, senior. Right halfback, Lori Samato, number 18, she's also a senior. Julie DeTersi, number 42, is going to be the inside halfback, senior. And Randy Winter, 46, is going to be another inside halfback. She's also a senior. And we mentioned Amy Meckelberg, wearing number 9, will be the striker. She's a junior, and the other striker will be Teresa Rossi, number 27, a junior. Familiar names for East Brunswick. And go over Westfield's lineup real quickly. In goal will be Marie Williams. Michelle Marlard, number 13, will be the sweeper back. Kim Garusa, number 20, will be at fullback. Karen Schellis, number 10, at the other fullback position. Michelle Karatuna, stopper. Elisa Best will be a halfback wearing number 9. Kim Crumpf, number 25, another halfback. Ann Wampler, number 11, halfback. Kim McGowan, number 13, halfback. Rebecca Crone, number 2, will be a forward. And Amy Tortolito, good luck, John, number 16. Okay, so those are the names. A lot of freshmen, as we mentioned, are going to be seeing action for East Brunswick. Let me just mention some of the subs that will probably be coming in. Sarah's younger sister, Karen Bishop, number 22, just a freshman, will probably be seeing some action. We also have Lisa Rabi. I hope we get that pronunciation right. If we don't, we'll hear about it. Number 45, another freshman. And Debbie DiNicolo, another freshman, number 43. Here's a familiar name, Pepe.
Yes.
Dana Pepe, number 2, sophomore. Tammy Levine, younger sister of Debbie Levine, who's graduated, is a junior. She's wearing number 36. Marin Levine, number 37, freshman. Colleen Swick, number 33, junior. Wendy Bykowitz, number junior. Sue Kirwin, Chris Karazima, Carla Swartz, and, geez, I wonder if that's a Leanne Swartz sister. And Janie O'Brien, number 21. So those are some of the names that we're going to be seeing for East Brunswick.
Okay, thanks, Jim. East Brunswick will be in the home white jerseys, Westfield in the blue, and the teams will be coming out momentarily to start this game off. And as we said in our opening, this is a big opening game for both teams. Last year they met in the state finals, Westfield coming away with the victory 2-1. And as Jimmy mentioned, this may be a prelude, if you will, to what could happen at the end of this coming soccer season.
I would not be surprised. Both teams are always, loaded. They have their good recreation programs, as we know, and this is why East Brunswick can bring in so many quality players year after year. They have a good recreation program, a lot of teams playing, and again, the freshmen are probably going to be seeing a lot of action this year. We had a threat of rain here earlier today, but I'll tell you what, the weather has cleared up, and you never know what can happen here, but right now it doesn't look like weather's going to play a factor in this. And as always, the East Brunswick field is in remarkable condition, and even more so simply because this is the first athletic event of the 1989 school year. So no complaints down there.
You see Coach Lou Cosa, and you mentioned his outstanding record here at East Brunswick, and I believe this is his 11th season, Jim?
11th season, 203 wins, only 25 losses and 11 ties. That's an 84% winning percentage. And he goes back to 1978 when the soccer program was started here.
Interesting, in talking with Lou before the game this evening, he was mentioning that he has a number of freshmen on the squad, something that apparently has been unusual in the girls program here at East Brunswick.
Well, you see the players being introduced right now, and again, we did mention a number of the freshmen that are going to be seeing a lot of action this year. Of course, the seniors are going to get their due, and seniors play a very important role in soccer. I think it's rare when a freshman can just jump into a program and do well, and that could be the case this year. We just don't know. But you're looking at a quality veteran lineup here. All these players know what success is, and that's going to be important too this year.
I know Lou was saying that these kids are ready to go, and we're about ready for the national anthem, so we'll break for a moment. And we're about ready to get underway. Just a quick side note, in talking with George Kapner, the coach at Westfield, he was mentioning that the people in Westfield were quite surprised that George was willing to give up a home date in return to play East Brunswick here at East Brunswick.
Well, as you look at the stands right now, they're certainly not full, but I have to believe that this will be a late arriving crew. This is a 7 p.m. start on a Friday night. A lot of people are still making the transition from the work week into the weekend, and we're seeing a lot of people starting to filter in now, even as the players are about ready to take the field.
Well, for us, it's a start of another fall athletic season at East Brunswick High School. We certainly look forward to covering both girls and boys soccer, as well as the East Brunswick High School football team.
It's going to be a little bit different now. This year, as new things are always come with the new year, and I guess an end of an era, if you will, with the football program being what it was with Brian Forte, Ramon Trent, and all that. But I guess we're going to have a lot of opportunities to talk about football, and this is soccer's night.
One thing I forgot to mention, and I should be shot for forgetting, particularly my close relationship with gymnastics, is that both the boys and girls gymnastics teams will be shown here on Channel 8, and they have the potential, again, to be state champions.
Gee, they seem to get better each year, huh? Why is that so, John?
Don Weeder, that's why.
Okay.
And Leslie Gatner for the
Right.
women. So East Brunswick comes out on the field. They will be moving left to right on your screen.
Now, you know they're going to be basically a two-strike front, okay, which immediately is going to mean an emphasis on defense. And certainly that'll be the case tonight with this game right here.
How about team speed, Jim? Is that it has been a hallmark of East Brunswick teams over the years. Is it comparable to, say, last year's team?
Lou, at this point, is not going to commit to anything. I think it may be an unfair judgment against this Westfield team because you're going to see a lot of the action on the East Brunswick side. They're going to push ahead. I think they're probably loaded with a few more veterans than the other team, East Brunswick, and we'll have to see if that's going to bear out.
All right, here we go. Westfield will put the ball in play. And these are two highly skilled teams. Right now, the action taking place down on the East Brunswick end of the field. And the Bears cross it over.
Well, right away you can see the skills of Westfield. They move the ball very, very well. They're a very, very confident team.
And if this is your first time watching girls soccer with us, the girls play 4 20-minute running quarters.
Well, player just went down for Westfield. That's 25 Kampf.
And we'll have a momentary stop in the action as the trainer from Westfield comes out.
And the clock does stop in the event of an injury. Otherwise, it just keeps on running, even in out-of-bounds plays.
Running time. We see Phil Hostler out there for East Brunswick as well. He's East Brunswick trainer.
I had an opportunity to do a story on Phil this past summer. He's quite a remarkable guy. I've not met many more dedicated trainers than Phil. He just is into it. I believe he had the distinction of being the director of I wouldn't say medicine, but he directed all the medical attention that would be required at the Garden State Games this past summer.
This past summer, yes. Well, she's up and running off, and that's Kim Kumpf. She'll go out and take a breather. As we mentioned earlier, these teams know each other quite well. And in fact, you see some of the girls socializing while we had that timeout. But it'll be all business now as they put the ball back into play. Home opener for the Lady Bears. On the move. And Westfield noted for their defense.
Well, East Brunswick is not afraid to play up front. Looks like we got a push off on number 2 there. That being Rebecca Crone. And East Brunswick with a kick.
And we should mention up front, and this is unfortunately one of the
nice
problems.
Kick, John. I'm sorry I didn't interrupt, but that was one heck of a kick there. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just want to mention for our viewing audience that much like all the soccer matches that we cover, we do not have a program, and so we're working off of notes from Coach Kosa and his staff.
Right.
And we're doing our best to match up names and faces and numbers.
Okay, that's Samato throw-in. And a hitter. That's Meckelberg. She's the one to look for as far as East Brunswick scoring.
Bears unable to maintain pressure on Westfield.
But they will get the ball.
Teresa Rossi goes out of bounds. Westfield on the throw-in.
You know, I have to say, Teresa Rossi has grown over the summer.
Yes. Jim, I won't be surprised if this is a very low-scoring game, much like in the state finals last year, particularly since this is the first game of the year for both teams.
Yeah, you have to believe something like that's going to happen because, you know, traditionally soccer, this is a break here.
Here we go, Westfield.
Oh.
The Bears get back.
Good defense.
They able to clear it out. And Rossi trying to send it downfield.
That was a handball. Now, I started to say that this will be a low-scoring game. Soccer games should be low-scoring. I mean, and it should be determined on field position and essentially breaks, and you work for goals. I think East Brunswick has sort of blown that apart with superior play. But when you have two good, solid teams like you have tonight, I think there's every reason to expect that.
Goes out. Wasted opportunity as Farrell trying to get it down to Samato.
And Amy's going to try to break.
Looking for the wing outside, looking for Mitzner.
There's the center.
It'll go off, and the ball will belong to, I believe it's Westfield.
And just with 4 minutes gone, John, I can't say that any team has the territorial edge.
No. It's been well balanced, well played. Maybe a little conservative. But this is a feeling out process. We're still in the first period.
Rossi looks very strong out there. She looks like she could be a dominant player.
And a nice crowd here tonight, Jim, for
yeah,
Lady Bears.
Like I say, they're slow in arriving, but once this first quarter is over, I suspect we're going to have a nice crowd. Good block.
Bears trying to maintain the pressure. It'll go out of bounds. Westfield on the throw-in. Players will move down toward the East Brunswick end of the field. Samato in there again. Farrell shoots it out of bounds.
Yeah, she didn't want to do that. She just wanted to stop it. Now you have to watch for Westfield here.
On the throw-in. They set it up. Shot. Corp's right there. So their first shot on goal.
Oh, Lauren played that very nicely. You know, the goalkeepers could be the difference in the game tonight. You know, if something like an errant pass gets through the defender and somebody gets a clear shot, it could be the position of the goaltender.
Well, both coaches were speaking very highly of their goalkeepers before the game. And Jimmy, you would have to believe that teams of this strength are strong in the middle in that key position of goalkeeper.
Mecklenburg looking to break. There's nobody with her, though.
Set it up, Samato crossing.
That's
Rossi's
Teresa.
in the middle. Can't control it. And Westfield will clear it out.
Good. That's Nin bringing it up.
Offsides, East Brunswick. We have 13 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the first period. No score, East Brunswick and Westfield.
Nice stop. That could be a little bit of a push, dangerous play.
Dangerous
on East
play,
Brunswick.
I
Sure,
believe so.
Samato was in on that. Strategy by East Brunswick, it appears, is if the middle's clogged up, Mecklenburg or Rossi will try to put it to the outside. And here comes
Samato
attack.
looking for Rossi in the middle.
Probably a little early on that pass.
Back to East Brunswick on the throw-in. East Brunswick putting some pressure on Westfield. Westfield clear it out.
Gotta watch the speed here. Right, goes to the goaltender.
Bishop back to Korf. And Korf will clear it out. Mecklenburg tries to keep it alive. It'll be East Brunswick's ball.
Well, it's a cool evening, so I don't think fatigue should be too much of a factor, John.
A beautiful evening for soccer.
All right, Bears have an indirect kick here.
Farrell will take it, number 6.
And you watch for the offside.
Directly to the goalkeeper.
That'll be a shot on goal.
And that's Maria Williams in goal for Westfield.
Sarah Bishop, an experienced player. Well, for the last 5 minutes, it seems like the Bears have been the ones that have been doing most of the offensive thrust.
You're going to call a push.
Well, it's a good call, but perhaps not necessary.
Well, it's also the first game for the referees. Farrell, good kick, sends it down.
Well, Mecklenburg got her head on it, and that was enough to stop it.
And you're right, Jim. East Brunswick slowly starting to put the pressure on Westfield down at their end.
Now, Lou has not substituted yet.
Well, the pace has been rather slow.
Okay, let's watch.
Shot to Rossi in the center. Good head. No one there.
Watch for the offside.
Westfield has a break. Korf comes out and gets it out. Another shot, though. She's going to have to get back. And it's wide to the right of the goal.
Well, Lauren had to watch that she didn't come out too far and try to put her hand on the ball because she was actually coming out of the penalty area. Now we got some wholesale changes coming in for East Brunswick. Very interesting. Let's see if we can pick up some of these numbers. Number 36 is Tammy Levine. She's a junior. 37 is Marin Levine. I believe, let's see, number 40 player is one of those, 43 is one of those freshmen, Debbie DiNicolo. And number 22 is another freshman, that's Karen Bishop. So we have the insertion of 2 freshmen up front, John.
We'll see how well they play their first varsity action.
And I also see Dana Pepe in there.
And you've got to.
So 5 players.
You've got to believe the freshmen are somewhat nervous, their first varsity game.
All right, poor throw in, so East Brunswick's going to get the ball. This is sort of interesting. I think Lou is recognizing that conditioning may be a factor regardless of whether what the temperature is. And he wants to keep the pressure up.
Or, Jim, it could be that Westfield.
Nice pass.
Here we go, down the wing.
Possible
crossover.
This is a freshman.
Shot on goal. Number
was Karen
22.
Bishop.
That was Bishop, Karen Bishop.
All right. Well,
they
that
set
woke
it up
the
nice,
crowd.
though.
Sure was. That brought the crowd out. You had a freshman taking a shot on goal. And I think maybe if Karen just dribbled it a little bit further, nobody was on her, but she wanted to get that shot off. Nonetheless, I think that gives us a nice spark for East Brunswick.
Again, East Brunswick.
Oh, Karen Bishop looks great.
Putting pressure.
And they just booted out of there. So East Brunswick, I believe, has 3 shots on goal.
8:20 left, first period, no score, but East Brunswick starting to make a move on Westfield. The shot will go over goal. Jim, it may be, too, that Lou doesn't think this Westfield team is as strong as he may have thought coming in.
That's, it's hard to say. I can't believe that would be the case.
Well, he inserts, what, 3 freshmen?
Well, I think it also indicates how highly he thinks of those players.
Farrell.
Nice
Take it under
control.
control.
Nice control.
Sends it back down the center of the field.
All right, this is 45. This is Rabi, Lisa Rabi, another freshman.
Crossing it over. Good hustle, East Brunswick. Keeping it down in Westfield territory.
What's the call? Offside. Well, I think Westfield's a little rattled. They're not used to having this pressure put on them.
Here come the Lady Bears again.
That was an excellent pass. There is no doubt that the ball control skills of these freshmen are something to behold. Look at the hustle here.
They're attacking the ball. They're going after it, and I'm sure Lou's got to be pleased with that. Good heads-up play.
Excellent play. Great kick.
Westfield has yet to mount a serious attack.
Well, they had that one opportunity where Lauren Korf came out of goal. But you're right, John. That's been it.
And East Brunswick's defense hanging tough.
All right, blue ball.
Throw in. And here come the Bears.
Look at this nice attack.
2-on-2.
Look at this still nice attack. Excellent play. John, if you watch closely, it appears that East Brunswick's getting to the ball a lot faster than
Yes.
Westfield.
Yes.
And that could be the difference.
Shot from outside. And East Brunswick's having their opportunities early on.
Sure, that shot was from 35 yards away.
We're inside of 5 minutes, first period. If you're Lou Cosa, you've got to be pleased thus far, Jim.
Without a doubt. And this is a fast-paced game, John.
Starting to pick up now, yeah. East Brunswick's starting to get into the swing of it, if you will. They're starting to feel comfortable being out there. They're in front of their home crowd. Westfield now making some changes. They'll go back to the Bears.
Well, here come the Here come the.
It's like ice hockey, second line.
It really is. I'm trying to figure out if these are new faces or just.
Now, let's see.
Yeah, these are
Meckelberg
the returns of the starters again. And a nice job by the freshman. Played a good, solid 6 minutes. Noticeably picked up the play. Look out, here's Amy Manuel.
Centering it down. Rossi keeps it alive. Shot from the corner.
Still another shot.
Wide of the net. That was Mitzner, number 30. .250 left first period.
I don't know who that's off. There's Meckelberg.
Fighting.
going on here?
A little confusion. They called. East Brunswick player picked up the ball and threw it in. It was actually for Westfield. A good defense by Bishop.
Westfield with the throw in. This is Wampler. Got to watch it here.
They clear it out.
Nice clear. And the fullbacks are not afraid to just knock the ball out of bounds. They're confident in their own ability to get to the ball once it's in play.
Shot wide. 1:25 left first period. And the Bears clear it out again.
So Westfield looking to put a little bit of pressure of its own.
No one down. Mecklenburg won't get that one.
And that's often the case in situations like that. The defense will just kick it to the goaltender. Well, they call that on East Brunswick, but I can't see it. I think it was just anybody's ball.
Farrell still has it.
Nice play.
She'll get it out.
Whoa.
35 seconds left, first period. We have no score at East Brunswick's J. Doyle Field. The Lady Bears against Westfield. But in terms of action, it's all been on the Bears' side.
Looks like Westfield gets it. Got to watch this. This is a problem here.
And East Brunswick's defense has risen to the occasion thus far. 7 seconds.
And that's probably going to do it for this quarter, John.
So there's no score at the end of one. East Brunswick Westfield.
Rather spirited quarter of play. We saw the senior-dominated lineup out there to begin with, and then all of a sudden, Lou inserts his freshmen, Karen Bishop, Lisa Rabi, and Debbie DiNicolo, among others. And boy, I'll tell you, the action really sort of picked up. And East Brunswick was attacking. They were getting to the ball a lot faster. Now, it'd be interesting to see if Lou will just go back and forth with this lineup. Meanwhile, I have not seen as many substitutions on Westfield's part, and what that could mean is looking at the fourth quarter, you could see some possibly some more attack on East Brunswick's part.
Well, as we said, if you're Lou Cosa, you've got to be pleased with that first quarter and the way the Bears played, and particularly the freshmen.
All right, we have a timeout here as we have 20 minutes more posted. And we're waiting for action to resume.
By the way, Jim, we will be carrying the same Lady Bears on October 7th. It's a Saturday morning game here at East Brunswick when they take on Cherry Hill East High School, another power in soccer.
Right, and I believe we open up action with the boys next Thursday night, hosting Saraville.
Yep. So again, East Brunswick's reputation in soccer will be tested, and it's well-deserved over the years. Dan Hastings with the boys, certainly Lou Cosa with the girls. Jim, I'm really pleased to see the number of people who have come out tonight for this match. Certainly these young ladies deserve the support, and you and I have sat here through many games when we could count on maybe two hands the number of people in the stands.
I kind of heard an echo every time we talked. Now, Mike Palumbo was kind of nervous tonight, I have to tell you. He made a commitment to open up the refreshment stand. So he was sort of, that was like a key that they were expecting a good crowd.
And people are still coming in, which is good to see. We're waiting for the second period to get underway. Seems like an unusually long time between periods.
Well, the official has sounded his whistle, but Lou is out there imploring his troops.
No score at the end of one. We'll start another 20-minute session here. Lady Bears and Westfield.
Well, look, it's the freshmen that start.
Interesting. We'll see what Lucosa's. I think he's looking to pick up that pace again. Those young ladies came in and really started to make things happen.
You just can't be displeased with what you saw the first time they were out there. And you can have fresh people coming in and out. Why not?
Here we go. East Brunswick now will switch ends of the field. They'll be moving from your right on the screen. They're in the home white. And I would say, Jim, that East Brunswick dominated that first period.
John, I probably wouldn't use the word dominate, but I certainly would say controlled.
See what changes Westfield will try to bring about.
All right, they're looking to center here. Good
defensive play.
I believe we're going to have our first corner kick. Let's see. Well, now they can either have called that ball off Westfield, which they have, since it's going to be booted from the end of the penalty box.
That was Dana Pepe on that defensive move, number 2.
Good kick. Rossi.
We've just started second period action here from East Brunswick High School. No score, East Brunswick and Westfield. East Brunswick's defense being challenged here early on in the second period.
And the Bears are trying to edge it across here.
Downfield.
There's a chance here.
Shot. Pepe.
What do
I'm
we
sorry.
got?
What do they call? That's Dina Cola, 43.
Well, she apparently was, when she fell, put her hands on the ball.
Shot on goal, but easily handled by Marie Williams.
And Yen has to watch that she doesn't get caught too far up front. Good speed, good speed.
And a good clear.
And here come the Lady Bears.
This is
Centers.
Ravi.
They're onside. That's a free ball there. All right, East Brunswick on the attack. Well, it seems like they're getting rid of the ball just a little too early. I think they need to penetrate just a bit more upfield. Of course, the forwards have to watch that they don't get off sides. And make that center pass closer to the goaltender.
Farrell takes the shot from way out. Williams will clear it out for Westfield. 15:57 left here in the second period. No score.
It's Marie Williams, goaltender for Westfield. Free ball.
Rabby down the left wing, pushed off.
No call. No call. Westfield off Westfield. East Brunswick throw in. They're keeping the pressure. And the center.
Shot across. DiNicola can't get a foot on it.
And Westfield converges on the ball, John. A lot of people in the middle. Yen has impressed me.
Yen clears it out again.
Let's see who has the speed here. Of course, it's going to go to the goaltender.
But again,
this sequence probably has tired out the East Brunswick forwards, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a substitution right here.
But Jim,
here they come. Here they come.
The starters come back in, but Jim, that second line again added a spark.
Yes, they did.
And they get a nice hand from the crowd.
Now they take a breather. I'll tell you what, I like this strategy by Kosa. Now you have fresh forwards for East Brunswick. Meanwhile, the defense is the same for Westfield.
And as we mentioned, Westfield has used very little substitution.
Gotta watch this situation.
Westfield on the attack.
Good.
And cleared out.
Very nice. Here we go. Rossi's the only one up.
She'll try to loop it down for someone.
Well, there's nobody there. And I think this is the type of communication that's going to be required of a team as they play more. Rossi was probably expecting Amy Meckelberg to be deeper, but she wasn't. And this will come as they play together.
And they're going to call a push on Samato. We have 12:40 to go here in the second period. Still no score, East Brunswick and Westfield. It's pretty much what we expected. Two championship caliber teams. Whoa, that was close that time. A little hesitancy there by Farrell, but no damage. Jim, it looks like Westfield has slowed down a little bit this period.
Yes, they have.
Samato will throw it in.
Oh, you got to watch where you're passing. Whoa. All right,
Wrong
that's
way.
what East Brunswick did not want to do that. Now
Mitzner knew right away that was a mistake.
Sure, okay, now Westfield will get a corner kick.
And this is where they're dangerous.
Well, any corner kick is dangerous, but these are skilled players, and I'm sure that the player walking over for Westfield, I believe that's number 9, Elisa Best, is adept at corner kicks. So you got to watch these situations. This is the goal where the goaltender plays an important role too. She can snuff out this just by being in the right position.
She has a Westfield player right in front of her. Cross. Shot over goal. So no damage. East Brunswick escapes a bullet there.
And here comes the substitutions again. We have number 44 coming in. Let's see, that's Ann Yen, of course. I believe Amy Manuel's just entered the game again. 42, that would be Tercy. She was a starter. Randy Winter enters the game again. And Kosa doing the coaching down there on the sidelines. Nice play.
You've got to like the aggressiveness of East Brunswick. A player is down for Westfield.
That'd be 17. We don't have her on our program, so
And
she's not a starter.
They're going to call a timeout here. So with 9:20 left here in the second period, timeout has been called for an injury to a Westfield player. You see her down on the field. And just to show you what kind of night it is, as we sit here atop the field box, if you will, of East Brunswick's J. Doyle Stadium, there's a full moon showing its face.
Almost looks like a harvest moon, doesn't it, John?
Beautiful evening out here.
Let's see if we can get Peter to pan up. He doesn't want to do it.
Here he goes. He's going to show it. We don't get many of these, so it's worth the time. And there it is. Beautiful evening for a home opener for the Lady Bears. Good close-up there by cameraman Peter Canamessa, assisted by Dave Ambrosi, who have been with us for a long time, Jim.
That's correct.
Doing football and basketball, soccer, gymnastics. They do it all with us.
And you can see one of the stanchions from the lights that were installed here. I guess this is the third year now that East Brunswick has had the lights, and it enables us to bring these night games, and it also affords the fans another opportunity to see games, parents particularly, that they normally couldn't see during the course of the afternoon. See a lot of faces down there that I recognize, parents. A lot of students.
And that's great to see.
Sure, school's only been in session, what, for a week and a half now?
Mm-hmm.
I think the kids are starting to settle in now. And of course, the teams have been practicing a lot longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these players play year-round. We see the cart being brought out. Phil Hostler there is also attending to the player. So they're going to probably make that available to bring her off so she doesn't have to walk.
They're looking at her ankle, I believe.
We were talking about the when the players started practice. Middle of August really is when it was available for them to start. The football team also started around the second, third week of August. And this game would be aired, I guess, after the fact. But the Bear football team opens tomorrow on the road at Cherokee.
The fall season is in swing. And unfortunately, we cannot identify the player for you, but she's being taken off the field by Frank Knoppenberger, the athletic director, who is putting in some part-time duty as the cart driver. And Phil Hostler will take a look at her on the sideline. Again, we have 9:20 to go here, second period. No score, East Brunswick, Westfield. And we're about ready to start action again. Westfield on the move.
Nice defensive play. Very nice defensive play. Who was that? Let's get her number.
Couldn't pick it up. I believe 32. It was 32, Manuel.
That was Manuel, yes. Important play at this juncture. I think the Westfield team was going to get a clear shot there, close in. And and that was going to be 25, Kim Kumpf.
Farrell puts it in the air.
There's Meckelberg on the stop. Amy hasn't had an opportunity to be involved in the action thus far. All right, here's a chance.
Mitzner down to Rossi.
It's Teresa. Let's see who she can put it in.
Looking back for Mitzner.
East Brunswick should get the throw in. Rossi, possible shot. Well, Westfield does have a veteran club, and I'll tell you what, they don't panic. Lady Bears throw in.
East Brunswick looking to keep the pressure on. There's Meckelberg. She's got it. Looking across for Rossi.
Teresa
Rossi,
may have it.
shot,
Yes.
go!
Oh.
Teresa Rossi!
Great shot.
7:23 in the second period.
You know, John, I was going to say that, you know, Amy dumped the ball off too soon again, but Teresa just threaded the needle, beat her defender, goaltender committed, and put the shot in. And it could be an important goal.
Teresa Rossi, first goal this year, and puts East Brunswick on top, 1-0.
At the 7:23 mark of the second quarter. And Westfield players standing around looking at themselves.
Certainly this is the edge you wanted. You wanted to get out on the board first.
Well, I'll tell you what, Teresa Rossi has really been a dominant player, if you want to call her that, thus far. She really has grown over the summer. She hasn't lost one step, has a lot of speed. And boy, look at her down there. She's fired up.
I'm looking at her dad, Al, and he's yelling, screaming. Boy, he almost jumped out of his skin.
Now, East Brunswick needs to watch itself. You probably will see it fall into a conservative shell here. A 1-0 lead could be important in this type of game.
East Brunswick's aggressiveness paid off. Meckelberg.
Well, I was saying Amy was silent, but boy, she made that pass. East Brunswick here with another chance.
Here we go again. Mitzner.
Setting up.
Looking. Sends it over.
And
good defensive play.
And not quite a corner kick. Throw in for the Lady Bears right here. This is Teresa throwing it in. Substitutions, East Brunswick. Bringing in Dana Pepe. We see, of course, Sarah Bishop coming back. Well, our PA announcer, Sal Piccarello, finally gets around to announcing the goal. There's another chance. Oh!
Jim, the field must be getting slick with this evening mist.
Yes.
Players are starting to slip.
Right, Dana Pepe had to pull back. She was looking for a header. Play is stopped, John.
.5:35 to go in the second period. Lady Bears on top, 1-0.
Woo! Look at
Shot
this.
right past the goalie, Williams. Will it go?
It's in.
It is. It's a goal, the Bears.
Boy, I'd like to get a replay of that one, huh?
And that's the first time we've seen that, Jim.
But you know it can happen. And there was a situation where I don't think the goaltender was quite expecting to have it go as far on the pass as it was. Number 20 is looking down, Kim Garusa, and just did not connect with her goaltender the way she should. It was an errant pass, tipped off the hand.
We'll see who they credit that goal with.
And that would be interesting. You have to look at the last player that touched it. You think it's Teresa Rossi, John?
Meckelberg, they're saying. Amy Meckelberg.
Okay. obviously a big goal at this juncture. 2-0 in soccer is a lot bigger than 1-0.
And East Brunswick again on the attack.
Well, you know, there's, and of course, the freshmen are out here now.
Pressure's off them now. They can play.
Boy, that ball just had enough on it to get past the goaltender. Rolled to the line and passed it. So Mecklenburg gets credit for the goal. Her first of the year, obviously.
So the second period has been golden for the Lady Bears. 2 scores.
Great play.
Harf comes up. She's been hit.
Well, she'll get yellow carded for that one, perhaps.
Nothing. We haven't seen any call, and action resumes.
This is a tactic that's often used to change the momentum of the game here. What are they calling here? Substitution. And that is Wendy Bykowitz, number 13. I think this might be her first action. Luke Coase is using everybody, John.
You got to like it. He's going to give him experience.
And I don't think that hit the East Brunswick.
No, it went right through her legs.
But they're saying it was off her. Yen impresses me.
She has hustled all night.
Right. This is a free ball. Boy, the action has really picked up. East Brunswick gets it.
Here we go. See if they can capitalize on it.
Nice header.
Inside. Still alive, and it'll go out.
Corner.
Corner kick for the Bears.
Now that I'm watching this game, I think Lou Holtz is Lou Cosa. You remember the Notre Dame coach saying he didn't have too much. I think he has a heck of a lot here. These are quality players you're seeing out here for East Brunswick.
Offsides?
Not at all. But this is a race here.
Here's a
We'll have to
break.
see what happens. Look at that defense.
Look at Farrell.
Great play.
Great defense.
Whoa.
And Farrell gives her a little shove. That was Amy Tortorelli or Tortatelli.
Tortatelli, I think, was the one that came at
from Westfield.
Yeah, at Farrell. Like I say, this game can get rough. Well, emotions sort of take over in situations like this.
Well, and given the history of these respective teams, their winning is certainly part of their tradition.
Well, let's see how this goes.
Corner, goal!
They got it in.
As you said, Jim, they're good at it. That was scored by
didn't quite pick the name up
number
there.
2, Rebecca Cron. So it's a 2-1 score.
And Westfield gets back in the game. That was an excellent corner kick. Went to the far corner of the goal, and quite frankly, Lauren Corm couldn't do anything about it. Had enough height on it.
2:08 remains in the second period, and before you can blink an eye, we have a 2-1 score. Well, it may sound redundant, Jim, but this is what we expected.
2-1 score. I honestly didn't think we'd see as much scoring, John.
Shot down.
Oh, nobody there. And this game has opened up.
Rabi, number 45.
Whoops.
And a call comes.
Who gets it? Who gets the kick here?
East Brunswick.
It looks like Chris Farrell's going to take it. And
Right by the goal. Go over to Westfield. .30 seconds left here in the second period. 2-1's our score. Great hustle. Can't pick up a number. I think it was Dana Pepe.
And it looks like that's going to be it for the first half, John.
And that will do it. First half comes to an end here at J. Doyle Field. Lady Bears on top, 2-1, and it's been one heck of a game, Jim.
It has been an It has been an excellent played game on the parts of both teams, particularly East Brunswick. The edge right now has to be that errant play, which allowed the second goal for the Bears. But you got to give the territorial edge to East Brunswick. And right now, there's been more substituting by the Bears, and that you may see that show in the fourth quarter when because the pace has really picked up, and I can't imagine these teams to continue this for the entire game.
Well, we'll take a little break here, and we'll come back with the second half action in just a moment. All right, Jim, East Brunswick comes out for the second half. They lead 2-1. Just to go over to scoring quickly for you. It was a scoreless first period, 0-0 East Brunswick Westfield. And then with 7:23 left in the second period, Teresa Rossi put in East Brunswick's first score of the game. And less than 2 minutes later, Amy Meckelberg, on what was really an odd play, the goalie coming out, and the fullback sending the ball back, and the goalie just could not get to it. In fact, slipped going back for it for Westfield.
Exactly.
Put East Brunswick on top,
right.
2-0.
Amy gets credit for the goal, though. She was the closest player, her last one to touch.
And so East Brunswick enjoyed a 2-0 lead, although it was to be a brief lead, as Rebecca Cron, number 2 for Westfield, put one in from off a corner kick to make it 2-1, and that's where we stand as we start this third period.
And it looks like Westfield will attack. And I look for them to be a little bit more, not a little bit, a lot more aggressive this half. They need the tying goal. Now, we mentioned that East Brunswick should be a little bit more conservative, but I'll tell you what, sometimes being conservative can work against you.
I'm sure Lou Cosa wants one more in the nets before he thinks about being conservative.
I think he'd like a lot more in the net against Westfield, potentially an explosive team, obviously.
And you can see Westfield coming out much different than they did the first half.
And let's see, a player is down, John. And who is that?
I believe it's the same young lady that went down at the start of the game. Kim Crumpf?
Well,
can't say. I don't want to speculate, but she's wearing a knee brace.
Yeah, the knee is taped, and it looks like she's re-injured it again. She's holding her head.
And they will stop the clock for an injury timeout. We've just started the third period. East Brunswick on top, 2-1. Jim, if you're Lou Cosa, do you change any strategy?
I really wouldn't. I just think that they had so much success replacing the, getting people in and out of the lineup, provided an ebb and a flow to the game, and as consequently, I think they almost had developed a rhythm that caught Westfield off guard. They probably were somewhat lulled into that first goal. I think Rossi did a magnificent job of just threading the needle on that pass from Amy Meckelberg. They weren't quite expecting it, and it was just a bing-bang goal. All right, let's see who that is now.
I have yet to get a number on it, on the young lady. Phil Hostler out there again. He's been busy tonight. And as we mentioned too, the field is wet, and the players are having a difficult time maintaining their footing.
Well, as we've noted in past years when we've done night soccer games, and even football, as a matter of fact, there seems to be a condensation that gets on the grass every time the night falls, and then you have the clash of the daytime temperatures against the night air, and it causes condensation on the field. I went to college for that, by the way.
I was going to say, we cover it all here. Weather, soccer, you name it.
So it didn't take long for this injury to occur.
If you have any questions for Mr. Wizard, feel free to send them in to us here at Channel 8, and he'll try to answer them for you at timeouts between during football games and soccer matches. We're certainly not making light of the injury. It's apparently
well, it's serious enough not to
yeah.
for her to move. They want to keep that knee immobile. Let's see. She's being brought up. All right, you're right, John. That is Crumph. And walking off without a limp. Now she's jumping up and down. I'll tell you what, I know Phil Hostler is a good trainer. And it looks like going to be a drop here. It's a dangerous area.
East Brunswick better get it out of there.
Gets
And
on
they
it.
do. Karf picks it up. Corp, rather. Good foot.
Rossi tries to center it. Follow the bouncing ball.
Yeah, no one wants to move it forward. And Westfield.
You know, it's sort of interesting. In the previous games that have been played between Westfield and East Brunswick, only one goal has separated these teams, and here we are, 2-1, second half. All right, and you'll see it kick to the goaltender. A little bit more accurately this time, I hope.
It looks like Williams was expecting it this time. Third period action, 2-1. Bears on top. No one there for Westfield.
Looks like Samato's on it.
Jim, is there any talk about changing the championship format for soccer? I know they're considering football, for example, and boys football.
Well, I don't want to get on the subject of football too much, but what they're thinking about doing as far as football is concerned is simply just adding another 4 teams and let them play for the so-called Central Jersey championships, and then if and then taking the 4 top teams in Group 4 and letting them play for an overall state championship. It's just sort of tacking on more games to the season, so to speak. I don't know if that's going to be the case for soccer. Probably not necessary, because you do have a complete state tournament system that, you know, where one champion emerges. And you hear another whistle. What's that? A push.
So play has been somewhat erratic starting the third period.
And the Bears get a kick where?
I'll have them move it back a little bit.
Right there. Good kick. Good kick.
No one there for East Brunswick. Mecklenburg unable to catch up to it.
Well, players have to be concerned about being offsides, and the defenses normally play that by moving their backs up forward to try to catch the other team offside. So timing's is very important in a game like this. Somewhat surprised that East Brunswick is playing its fullbacks, its sweepers and stopper backs. They're pretty well up front.
Yeah.
You know, a good pass punched in there can get behind them, and you have an open shot.
And the defense hangs tough.
Westfield is a very physical club. They're not afraid to mix it up in there. Yeah, there's a shove there. Number 16, she was involved in another altercation.
Her and Farrell are going at it. Shot wide of goal.
Substitutions.
Rossi in the middle, looking for Mecklenburg.
Somewhat of a race here, but they'll get it to the goaltender. Look at Rossi come in. Well, if nothing else, that just gets the goaltender thinking again.
That's right. East Brunswick fans thought the ball was out of bounds. Got to watch here.
Nice defense. And the Lady Bears will be content to do just that.
We've got 13 minutes left here in the third period. East Brunswick on top, 2-1. I've not seen any preseason rankings on girls soccer. Have you, Jim?
I haven't, but I have to believe that these two are probably 1-2 or close to it, within the top 5. Look out. Nice play by Korf.
They're going to call a trip, I believe, on Bishop.
Right, and it looks like a yellow card. No, I'll take it back. I saw a reflection there. Now, this could be a dangerous play here.
And Rossi will
excellent play by
take
Teresa.
it out.
Forces a throw in. Westfield still with the ball here. They're trying to look for that opening.
Shot. Korf is there.
Well, ball's in the middle of the field. You got to watch it.
Nice movement by Westfield.
Boy, there's nice passing going on in there.
Looks like some pinball action.
Good pass by Samato.
East Brunswick defense again shows its toughness.
Well, the Bears are really just booting the ball out of there, and they're not panicking by any stretch of the imagination, but if they look around, they'll find they have some room to pass the ball. And slowly but surely, Westfield is starting to control the middle of the field here.
Korf comes out again, doing an excellent job in goal for the Bears. And the momentum seems to be going Westfield's side, as all the action is down at the East Brunswick end.
Well, Yen was pushed on that play, but no call. And they're just booting it upfield, and they don't need to do that.
Meggiolara's got Rossi in front of her. Looks down the wing for Mitzner.
All right, Laney's going to try to center.
Mitzner gets it across. Good defensive play by Westfield. Farrell keeps it alive. Samato loops it over, calling offside.
Yes, offside. Randy Winter was still back there.
And the tempo begins to pick up once more.
Back to the goaltender. Rather hard. Now, a situation there where the ball was booted to nobody. East Brunswick needs to do a little bit better job of controlling the ball at midfield.
Call a push against Westfield. Farrell will take it.
And
Here's
Meggiolaro has
Meggiolaro.
a chance. Teresa's got to watch. She's
She
not
crosses
offside.
it.
Too hard.
And it's off Mitzner. It's going to be a foot race. Korf will win this one. Looking for Samato.
Nice trap. Well, here comes an attack.
Good pass on the outside.
Nice defensive play by Yen Yen.
Yen has played great defense tonight,
She has.
Jim.
She's a very dependable player back there. Here comes an attack.
Rossi, if she can get to it.
And Mecklenburg's open in the middle.
Crosses it over. Williams will cut it off.
You know, just watching that sequence, there's been a number of opportunities like that, but that is so hard to connect on. I think you're going to really appreciate that first goal that East Brunswick scored. It was a real difficult situation.
Inside of 7 minutes left, third period. 2-1 East Brunswick. Farrell doing an excellent job back there as well.
Yeah, got to watch the passes, though.
Try to clear it out.
Good pass. Corfus looks steady back there, and I think that's what East Brunswick needs at this juncture, is confidence in the goaltender.
Well, Coach Cosa was saying that he thought Corf fundamentally was one of the best goaltenders he's ever seen at East Brunswick. Just needs some game experience. Nice play.
That's
shot across.
to Tercy on that pass.
Williams smothers it.
Didn't want to take a chance. Great play. And Mecklenburg is looking to get after it. Oops,
Oh.
He trips and falls. They're calling a trip. All right, here's a opportunity for the Lady Bears. This kick is right on line with the goal.
Williams will knock it down, pick it up, clear it out.
Here we go. Look how far up Yen's playing.
Jim, I don't think we've had any substitutions for East Brunswick this period yet.
I haven't noticed any, but that doesn't mean they haven't happened. There's a lot of action going on, back and forth here.
And here we go.
All right.
As we speak, the second line comes in.
36, 37, 45, 22, 43. That would be, okay, let's see. That's Tammy Levine, Marin Levine, Dana Pepe, Karen Bishop is in, Debbie DiNicolo.
Four minutes to go, third period.
The field is slippery down there. You saw Tammy Levine almost slip and fall. And East Brunswick's three backs get deep on it. Nice. Good hustle.
Dana Pepe.
Nice pass. They're really going after it. Well, East Brunswick content to control the game here at the midfield stripe.
Brunswick has an opportunity and just can't get enough foot on it to move it forward.
That was the sequence with Karen Bishop and Lisa Rabi, both freshmen. Here's a chance right here.
Set it out to set it up.
And
Offside.
offside. About a minute left, John.
Yeah, third period, almost over. East Brunswick holding on to a slim 2-1 lead, and I held my breath on that one as a bank of lights went out.
Lights on the right of us.
The home side. That will be down at the Westfield end of the field.
Right. Well, who needs lights? Well, I think as soon as this period ends, I think the officials are going to corral and decide what should be happening. This doesn't look, they just sort of went out on their own, and I don't think there's electricians around, quite frankly, to remedy this situation.
Back to the action. Corp comes up, takes control. We have 15 seconds left. And that'll be a push. And that'll do it. So at the end of 3, it's East Brunswick 2, Westfield 1. We'll see what happens with the bank of lights.
I was going to say, you look on the field there, you can see some shadows, long shadows, and that's because of one bank of lights to our right here that just went out. And let's see what's going to be happening. I think Lou Cosa will talk perhaps to the opposing coach. Really, not much can be done with this situation. Whoops. Well, that was just an emergency light that went on. Thought they were coming back.
I think you're right, Jim. No electrician is on hand that I am aware of. Unless Mike Plumby also dabbles in electricity. He does everything else around here. Fortunately, East Brunswick has a good setup where it should not affect play all that much.
Well, this will be an interesting fourth quarter of play regardless. I think this would be a big win for East Brunswick if they can pull this off, beating what, conceivably is one of the best teams in the state. It would definitely set the tone for all of this season to look forward to.
They lead 2-1, so they have 20 minutes now. And you can bet one thing, Westfield's going to come out here and be aggressive.
Well, they're certainly going to have to take more chances. And when I mean by chances, they're going to go out and probably move their fullbacks up further to try to penetrate, put more pressure on the Lady Bears. And what that will do is create more opportunities for East Brunswick. They seem to have a good knack of being able to punch the ball forward. Teresa Rossi has really looked strong for the Lady Bears. She does seem to have a good ability to penetrate. She's physically strong, which enables her to ward off opponents. And I would watch for her, to possibly take advantage of the situation.
One thing I've been impressed with in terms of Teresa is her willingness to take charge out there. You could see it.
Yep.
And that certainly has helped. But East Brunswick's play in terms of the team has just been outstanding. The freshmen who were certainly question marks coming into this game have done an outstanding job. They've helped provide the spark that was needed, particularly early on in this game. And it really has picked up the team, and there's a nice blending here. And once again, and we tend to overlook something, and that is the coaching skill of Lou Cosa, knowing his players, knowing how to use them.
I don't overlook it, John. I have to tell you, I think for East Brunswick to be as successful as it is year in and year out requires an extraordinary coaching skill. Being able to take players, recognize their abilities, and utilize them in the best way possible on the field. And he has done a job. And I don't know, do they have a East Brunswick Hall of Fame? I think we're getting at the point here where it ought to be considered. We're approaching 30 years, I believe, of sports.
Here we go, the last 20 minutes. Westfield out on the field. They're waiting for the Bears. They trail 2-1.
And obviously nothing is going to be done about the light situation. You wonder whether that is an advantage for Westfield in the sense that they're going to be going at a goal where there's not as much light. We'll have to wait and see. And John, I think I should just tell you that our cameras do not really present the right picture in this situation. This is a good camera we have here, and there's not as much light on the field as what you see on your television set.
It will be noticeable, though. You will see the shadow. And it'll be interesting to see how Lauren Korf handles shots that come out from her left side, which is out of the shadow area. But we're about ready to go here. Fourth period at J. Doyle Field. 2-1 our score. It's almost deja vu, Jim.
Yes, it is.
Except this year the score is a little bit different, I mean, in terms of the team.
Yeah, it's been reversed. Look how Yen controls that. That's just a nice play.
Here we go. We talked about the shadows. And Korf comes out, handles it well.
Very nice play. And I quite honestly cannot see the lines as a result of it. So you you got to wonder whether the players can.
Brunswick trying to push it down. Farrell and Tora, I wish I can get that young lady's name, Toratella, pushing and shoving. They're still going at it.
And it looks like it's going to be, I believe, a throw-in.
It will be.
Right. Yes, Chris Farrell was just able to, with her hustle, to get to that ball and prevent a corner kick.
We're going to have to be honest with you. When they're down in the East Brunswick end, it's very difficult for us to pick up numbers. Players coming in and out of the shadow.
Nice play. That was Bykowitz. Look at Lisa Roby. Nice center there.
And again, the East Brunswick defense. Boy, what a job they've done tonight.
That'll go out, and that should be the Bears' ball.
16 minutes left here in the fourth period. Lady Bears on top, 2-1 against a fine Westfield team. You can see how dark the field is in this side.
A little give and go here. East Brunswick staying right with it, though. Rabi, nice center. Look at these freshmen go. Look at this.
Here we go.
That's
Shot! Oh, what a play by Williams.
Ball still alive here.
Williams comes out.
Oh.
You've got to admire the hustle and aggressiveness, Jim.
Yep.
Again, freshman. Boy, thinking about 2 or 3 years.
Think about now. Quite frankly, they're going, here's another chance. Oh, I'm surprised. Yeah, it's offside. I was surprised it wasn't called.
Certainly, these young ladies will get better with more experience. But I don't think anyone dreamed they'd play this well this first game, particularly against a team like Westfield.
Well, according to Lou, he just said they were loaded. And that immediately told me that it was going to be an uphill battle here. But some newfound confidence by some new faces. And I think I can hear the rest of the county soccer teams just groaning, saying, oh gosh, East Brunswick again. Let's look at them for another 4 years.
East Brunswick, Rossi. See if they can get something going.
Good strong kick. That was a great play by Sarah Bissop there. She sort of threw her body in front of the ball. And I think we're at the point, John, where Westfield's going to be looking at the clock.
13 minutes left in the game. And the way that East Brunswick defense is playing, you've got to expect that the coach from Westfield is going to have to start taking some chances.
Look at Yen come up on the ball. And the freshmen are doing a great job of controlling the ball.
Looks like we may get lights back down on this side of the field.
Yep, they're coming back on. Great hustle by Chris Farrell. Shot it to her goaltender.
There's Yen. Clock is running inside of 12 minutes. A little bit of confusion out here on the field. Now they're ready to go. That's going to be a push against East Brunswick.
And the player that was injured, Kumpf, I don't know how long she's been in there, but she's the one that's going to kick the ball, I think.
2-1's our score. 10:30 left in the game.
Okay, subs coming in for East Brunswick. Looks like Levine will be throwing in the ball. Amy Meckelberg will come in. Also, Samato's back in. Teresa Rossi will take a brief rest, I'm sure. And new player, Carla Swartz, number 48, is in for East Brunswick. So it looks like the majority of the team has played tonight.
And it looks like we have the lights back on and in full bloom. Now East Brunswick defense holding tough. First game of the season, they lead the Bears 2-1. Fourth and final quarter.
Whoa.
A little careless there. No harm.
Well, it's the type of play that may occur when a team is fatigued.
As we mentioned, Westfield has not made many substitutions tonight.
Well, they haven't made as many as East Brunswick, and let's see who gets to the balls quicker in this latter stages of the fourth quarter.
Farrell right there in the corner again. Oh, looking for Karp, and she got away with it.
It was dangerous.
Lou Cosa rubbing his brow on that one. Fans are getting into it. Jim, would you say this would be an upset?
I'm trying to figure this one out. You know, based on the play of the teams, I imagine it being an upset. I think East Brunswick has been every bit as effective as Westfield has been tonight. Here's a chance. Great. It's
East Brunswick fighting tooth and nail.
Kumpf is noticeably limping on that leg. She really can't get to the ball. You see her bending over there.
Number 25 for Westfield.
She's going to have to come out of the game.
And she is. We have 7:40 to go. East Brunswick holding on to a 2-1 lead. Fourth and final period.
And the Lady Bears are taking their time, as well they should. Another whistle.
East Brunswick playing defense primarily this period.
Dump pass.
Westfield struggling, but having a hard time to get any real penetration against the Bears. 5:40 left in the game.
Chris Farrell.
Simano.
Westfield has held back. They've really kept their poise here. It's a good, strong shot.
And a good play by Lauren Korf in goal. That ball is wet.
Yes, it is.
So anytime the goalie puts her hands on it, anything
nice
can happen.
play. Yen came up on that ball real strong.
Less than 5 minutes to go.
Westfield loses it.
And East Brunswick will
More substitutions.
make major substitutions again.
And probably will finish out the game with this string of players. You have Teresa Rossi coming in. Of course, along with two sophomores now. Debbie DiNicola. And I believe, is Rabi in there? Number 45. Yes, she is.
There's Rossi.
Strong center there.
And up and over.
Nonetheless, a nice play. Imaginative play by DiNicola, trying to loft the ball over the goaltender's head. She knew she didn't have enough time to line up a straight shot. She just tried to kick it over the head. Meanwhile, the clock runs, John.
Clock's certainly becoming an ally of the Bears. Crowd getting into it. They sense a victory. Farrell gets in the middle again.
And East Brunswick content to just not commit themselves, but stay in front of the ball. Good play there. That was Sarah
Great
Bishop.
play.
That's a senior play by Sarah Bishop.
Handball right there. Smart play, though. Young lady from Westfield didn't know who was behind her.
Now what are they calling? Well, it looks like
Yellow card.
Yeah, I guess for unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 13 ran up on the ball. Supposed to give him 10 yards. Well, Westfield, John, can ill afford to waste any time here. They're going to have to pick up the pace, try to create as many opportunities as they can. So they're going to be trying to push the ball upfield, and look at that play by Yen. Well, they're going to call her for pushing, but still it just stopped the momentum. She did what she needed to do. Whoops. Randy Winter thought she got away with a push there. We didn't see it, but the official didn't. All right, we have a substitution, John. Bykowitz is going to go in and replace Randy Winter. And let's see, Lukosa is talking to her.
She was carded. Clock is stopped with 2:25. 2-1, the Bears on top. Yen again.
Well, the game is not over, but I'll tell you what, if we're going to look at some offensive and defensive stars, I think you have to give the #1 star on offense to Teresa Rossi. She has been, she punched home that first goal. And I have to think Ann Yen has been the top defensive player for East Brunswick tonight.
Well, I think her and
Chris Farrell,
certainly. Sarah Bishop has played well defensively.
Yeah, we don't want to single out players, quite frankly, but if you're looking for stars of the game.
In truth, though, it's been a total team effort Those young ladies have played hard. Each one has contributed. And this will be a major victory for the Bears.
It's not over yet,
if
John.
they can hold on and get this ball out, particularly.
Yeah, they're going to have to get it out of this area right now.
And a push.
Called on Westfield.
Westfield, surprisingly.
And East Brunswick is just going to try to boot it up. They should take their time here. Waste a little of the clock.
Jim, this has got to be some sweet revenge for the seniors on the team after last year's defeat.
Sure. Look at Yen get back on that ball.
Oh, they called it. Foul again.
All right, here's a dangerous situation here now, because the kick is going to be an opportunity to be punched right into the goal. And this is not unlike the corner kick that they tried to nail home before. Look.
47 seconds.
And look who's doing the kicking for Westfield. It's Kim Crumpf.
Bad leg and all. She lofts one off the top of the goal.
And goes out.
At 35 seconds.
And
that may have been it for Westfield, Jim.
Could be. All right, what do we got here?
What are they calling?
Well, East Brunswick is making substitutions.
Clock is stopped, 24 seconds.
Okay.
Here we go. East Brunswick 2-1.
Westfield pushes
15
it up.
seconds. Wide of the goal.
That'll do it.
That should be it. Big win for Lucosa. He waited all summer for this game.
Yes, he did.
2 seconds. 1. That'll be it.
Game.
East Brunswick 2, Westfield 1.
And look at that team. Are they ecstatic or what?
And another outstanding East Brunswick-Westfield game, Jim.
Yes, it was. It was everything we thought it was, and I think we're looking at perhaps two of the best teams in the state, which means that this was one of the best games in the state that you're going to see this season. You might have to wait to the state tournament to see them play again.
The Bears getting goals from Teresa Rossi and Amy Meckelberg hold on to a 2-1 lead.
That's right, John. All the scoring really took place in the span of about 2 or 3 minutes. It was East Brunswick getting those 2 goals, and consequently, when you look at this game, it was that bad pass on the part of Westfield. The goaltender not expecting to get the ball, and it slipping behind her and rolling past the goal line. That means the difference. And I think if you have to look at it, this was an evenly played game.
Yes, it was. 2 outstanding teams who, as you said at the opening of the show, just may be seeing each other again later on in the year.
Yes. And you see the coaches now at the middle of the field shaking hands, acknowledging each other's teams.
George Kapner from Westfield and certainly Lucosa and assistant coaches. Big victory for East Brunswick. And so they set the tone for their season, Jim, 1989. And we've seen some new faces that we're going to look forward to reading about and seeing here on Channel 8.
Absolutely. New faces like Karen Bishop and Lisa Rabi, Debbie DiNicolo, Marin Levine, Dana Pepe, the sophomore. A lot of them saw extensive action on the front line. And they're going to be faces and names that you're going to hear about in the future. And let's not slight the senior lineups, particularly, Chris Farrell, number 6, who played a great game tonight. Also, Teresa Rossi. I still think that she was the dominant player on the field tonight. Lainey Missner was another strong player. Lori Samato, goalkeeper Lauren Korf, Sarah Bishop, and, of course, Ann Yang.
Well, we'll call it a night here from J. Doyle Field. Again, the Bears beating Westfield in girls soccer 2-1 to start off their 1989 season. So for Jim Allinder, I'm John Meggiolaro saying good night and thanks for being with us.